everyone needs companionship. Companionship means I have a connection with another human being. So you don't have to say much. But when they feel that, they feel, oh, I'm a human being. I'm not ignored. All we want is to feel like I exist. All right, so before I get into part 2, any questions? Anything? No? Just get going?
That's the main question.
How to become, and that's what this afternoon is about, hence the title. So, as I said, normally I do just the first one, and people were saying, ooh, well, how do you become a cloud? I said, well, I showed you here, but if you want more, I'll give you more. So, yeah, it's cool. I love flying. So, how to be a cloud means don't be a mountain, okay? That's the first thought. So we've talked about responsibility, accept responsibility for your emotions, for your moods. Realize why you want self-pity, because you need to feel loved, accepted like a human being, which is what everybody needs. And to create something of beauty is to make someone else feel like they're worthy, which then raises your self-esteem, and you now will feel better about yourself. And if I am super strong, like I have no fear walking outside, because God help anyone who bothers me. I will kill them. And sometimes I think literally I could kill someone. So I have no fear. Now, if you are not scared of being made intimidated or guilty or anything, you can walk without fear. And if you have no fear, then you can connect with people, then they will feel comfortable with you, and everyone feels better. Okay? So if I have no fear, I'm not a mountain, no one can hurt me because I'll let you be a human asshole. I don't mind, you have that right. I'm not scared of being hurt. So then I don't need boundaries. I no longer have fear. I don't have to defend myself. You know, divert and attack. When you pick on someone and you say, you did that wrong, the first thing they do is give you excuses. Traffic, this thing, that thing, all of this. And you say, no, 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 you could have left early, you could have this. Then they say, but you were late last time. So divert. If diversion doesn't work, then they attack. Now, you will then attack back by defending yourself. But if you know that is just out of their fear, their guilt, then you let them be that way. You don't get affected, and eventually they drain their energy. And you have, by virtue of doing nothing, totally controlled that person and the situation, right? Because I let, like if there's a snake has so much venom. So if I give the snake a stick and it bites, 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 all the venom goes in the stick. Now, if the snake bites me, it's got no more venom left. It can't hurt me. I don't know if that's actually true, but it's a really good example. Right? Or analogy.
Yeah, don't try this at home.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. See a snake, run. Yeah, actually you're supposed to freeze. If you freeze, then the snake doesn't deem there's a threat, and then it goes away. So the best thing you do is freeze. And don't look them in the eyes, because certain snakes can spit the venom right in your eyes. Okay, so remember, it's all pieces of a jigsaw. Example is just an example. Okay, come in. Ooh, that worked. Magic. All right. It's windy. Okay, no problem. All right, come on, we're starting already, because that was a half an hour ago we were supposed to start. Okay?
You've been waiting for me?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, that's why we said 1:45, and you know, we're sort of like that, but we were chit-chatting. So, okay, come on, come on, come on. We're just starting. Come on. Okay. All right, so example is just, remember, it's all pieces. So some of the slides are repeated to remind you, okay, because sometimes I'll do it days later. Now, every skill you have, I'm a doctor, a lawyer, an artist, a painter, a musician, a carpenter, whatever it is, those are spokes on the wheel. The wheel itself is you, and the hub of the wheel, that center point that doesn't actually move, but everything revolves around, is your mind, okay? So if you want to be a better person by becoming a better artist or a better carpenter, you won't become a better person, because that's just one spoke on the wheel. You need to work on your mind. Now, if you work on your mind, you will automatically become a better carpenter, a better painter, a better all the things in your life, right? So our work is only about the mind. The other reason is I can take your money, I can take your property, I can take everything from you. I can even take your legs. Well, not me, but I mean, you can lose your legs. But no one can take away your mind. That you have to give away yourself. No one, they can take everything. Look at poor people, they break their neck, paralyzed from the neck down. But they can still think and talk. No one can take your mind except you. Again, you are 100% responsible for everything in your life, okay? Now what happens is when your mind is distorted, the wheel obviously can't hold together well and you thump through life. So if you have any thumps in your life, don't look at the problem. Look at the source, which is your mind and your personality. It means you're a mountain, your fears, and blah, 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 all that we talked about this morning. So we have to work on our mind, how it deals with things to become a cloud, right? So again, the cloud is the most important thing. It is preventing from being a cloud by having your boundaries. And here is the next one where we go more into it. The difference between boundaries and morals. So it's very simple. Boundaries are bad because a boundary is telling someone else what they should or can or cannot do or say. A moral is, it's my life. I will decide if I do that or not. Now, you lovely ladies would not be prostitutes normally. But if you're a single mother with 3 children who are sick and need education and medicine and food, and you have no other way but to become a prostitute, you would. Every woman says, yes, you can do whatever you want to me as long as my children are healthy, safe, and have a life. So your morals are also flexible depending on the situation. Okay, we've established. You agree with that? That means everyone else's morals are flexible depending on the situation. So the question is, where is that line where my morals will shift? Eh?
So morals are objective, boundaries are subjective, right?
I don't know. Maybe. No.
Because morals, this is what I want, this is what I don't
Yeah,
want.
actually, you're right. Yeah. But morals are what I will do. Boundaries are when I tell someone else to do. Okay? So now that you thought about it, and you know what? There comes a point where I will do things I would never dream of doing. But that line is in the sand. For everybody, it's different. My mother cheated me out of some money at the lowest point in my life, where I desperately needed it. And she cheated me out of it. Because her morals are, she has to do what the man says to impress the man, or to do what the man says, because, well, he's the man. Her son becomes irrelevant, right? How can I be angry at her? I cannot, because that's where the line bent. Raised as she was raised, the man is who she must serve. When my father would beat me or yell at me or we'd have an argument and he was clearly wrong, she would never defend me. And then I'd ask her, I said, why don't you defend me? She said, what can I do? He's my husband. So a mother will not even protect her son if that line became pushed. Because her line was, the husband is most important. Okay? For her. Exactly, for her. So everyone who is being nasty, ignoring you, whatever they're doing, their line has been crossed. Okay? And you need to accept you're not God, you don't know everything, you can't control another person. Every human being is in pain and suffering and fearful and jealous. When I lived in Malaysia, it's big apartment buildings and we all shared the pool and common areas. And one day, I'd been there for some years, and one day one guy comes to me and he says, people hate you, they talk badly about you, and they're jealous and envious about you. because I have a great life and they're stuck with miserable wives they hate. So, great, thank you. I take it as a compliment. People talk badly about me, and they hate me, and they say bad things about me. What a compliment. They're all jealous of me. When my partner passed away, there was this one couple, older couple. He's an Indian, and she's Belgian, the wife, or Dutch, I think. And this Indian guy, no matter what you say, he says, nice, nice. You know, I bought a new car. Nice, nice. I bought a new house. Nice. I traveled here. Nice, nice. Whatever you say, he says, nice, nice, nice. Okay. So he hadn't seen me for a little while, and then one day he sees me at the pool. Haven't seen you. And he says, oh, how's Jenny, my late partner? I said, she passed away. He says, nice, nice. Well, not what you expected. But I know he's a robot. He doesn't know how to deal with things. He actually is never really listening to whatever you say. Cool. Goes through me like a cloud. No problem. That's you. You have no compassion. You are dead in your mind, not paying attention. Why should I be bothered with your defects? I don't have to live with you. That's what I tell my, my employees. I said, customer comes in, he's giving you shit. He's being an asshole. I said, just think, I don't have to sleep with him. Let his wife deal with this, right? Everyone has the right to be what they are. Everyone's line is somewhere else. What's your pain threshold? Different for everyone. I love how they say, on a 0 to 10, where is the pain? Well, for me, it's an 8. For you, it's a 2. How can you use this? It's negating the individuality. So you've got to keep drumming it in your head that everybody is different. Everyone has that line. You know, in Dubai, there's a lot of prostitutes, generally Nigerians. Why are they there? They've got no choice. There's no way for them to make money to survive. So can you say, oh, prostitutes are, shitty people? No, this is the girls who have no choice. Their line of hunger, desperation, was pushed to the point where they had to do that, okay? So if I attack you, yell at you, everything, you just got to keep remembering, where's the line? Everyone's in pain. Everyone is suffering. Everyone is jealous. Everyone is envious of somebody. And that has pushed them to the line where they see me as a threat. Or like that guy said, I mean, how rude. Everyone hates you, talks badly about you. Did you really need to tell me that? Whether it's true or not, there was no reason to tell me that, was there? But his reason was he was very unhappy with his wife, and he was so jealous at that point that I'm single. Accept it, okay? So this is what you have to. Now remember, make a habit, break a habit. Habits are habitual ways of thinking. So you have a way of thinking, which now gives you that train going in a circle. So you've got to break that pattern with every moment. Look at everybody. When you go out to the restaurants, to the coffee shops, look at people and try to think, what are they thinking? What is that person feeling? What are they thinking? Not your opinion, but what do they feel? You see someone like an old man, guy in his 80s, sitting by himself. Maybe he's nasty and grumpy. Think, this man in his 80s, he's alone. He lives alone at that age. How sad is he? Did his wife die 2 years ago and he's so lonely after 60 years of loving marriage? What is he feeling? Okay? So we have to think like that. It's a game. And that helps you break your habitual pattern of thinking, I see this, therefore it's that. The guy is a nasty asshole, look how he's talking. But no, he's an old, lonely, scared man, right? So that's what you have to keep thinking. One of my students, he wants to make money a long time ago. He's not making money, never getting anywhere. One day he comes into class, into the home, and he says, he's very poor. So he's driving his uncle's cheap old car, use it when he can. This rich bastard in a Mercedes pulled up to me at the red light and looked down on me. I said, oh, How do you know he's rich? Well, he had that fancy Mercedes. Fair. How do you know he's a bastard? Do you know him? No, but all rich people are bastards. Okay. You want to be rich? Yeah. You want to be a bastard? No. But you've equated. So he had to break his pattern of thinking that rich people are bastards. And as soon as that clicked, he became rich. So everything you think, every automatic, as soon as this happened, yeah. Watch yourself. The first thought, instinctive reaction in thought to any negative, aggressive situation, catch yourself with your automatic thought and realize this is a habit. I must break this habit. I will break the habit by doing an exercise, which is imagining what this person is going through in their life. A young teenage girl sitting there very insecure. What is she really feeling? Right? Old man, old lady, what are they really possibly feeling? So you start to think, and it breaks your automatic reaction, the habitual pattern of thinking. Okay? So like we were talking about, many people do, not this workshop, but similar one about eliminating anger and conflict. The next day I get emails. You wouldn't believe it's changed everything already. Okay? But this work is much deeper, to become a cloud instead of a mountain. So you've got to do the exercises for at least a few months before you notice the change. Okay? And you won't notice your change. Your wife or your husband will. Your friends will. One girl she did All Is Mine. She was doing much more work with me. But after a few months, she said, you know what? I just found myself smiling this morning for no reason whatsoever. She said, I never smile. She's a white Eastern European. And Eastern Europeans don't really smile much. So she said, I just found myself smiling all the time. She said, I don't know why. And my friends have said, you're smiling. Why are you always smiling? What happened to you? And she said, David happened. But you see, she never smiled. But all of a sudden, after maybe 6 months, or 4 months, or 3 months, whatever it was, she's always smiling. She's feeling happier. So you've got to give yourself some time, and you may not see it in yourself, although you will. Other people will see it in you. So we look for ask people what they think, all right? So this is clear, all right? Yeah.
There was, when you navigate outside here, take for example, we start off, we can go back to my morals.
Mm-hmm.
And I come to visit you.
Mm-hmm.
If you let me crash on your couch, my morals will tell me. Without you've not put the boundaries about, the bedroom. I'm not going to be sleeping in the bedroom, any odd time that I want. But my morals will inform me that if you were crashing on my couch, right, it's sort of the thing that I would not expect you to be on my bed, right? So I'm not going to impose that.
Right.
That's where my morals are, right? Now here's the thing. So what you choose to do or not do. I have a friend. I've grown up with him. Oldest and dearest. But he gets bent out of shape when he goes from girlfriend to girlfriend, and he does this thing where he's like, okay, he compares his current girlfriend to his previous girlfriend. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. But I try to think of this. So he goes, I took this trip, blah blah blah, and I said to girl A, I'm leaving. I'll be in in Dodoma in 2 hours or whatever. He gets there and he doesn't get a phone call asking, how did you land? Did you arrive safely? How are you doing? That sort of thing. So he gets bent out of shape. But people don't do that, and it's something he would do.
He would do it.
Yeah,
Exactly. He expects everyone to do what he would do.
See that word, expectation.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have an expectation.
No. You can never expect a human being to do or not do. Now, by the way, what you're saying about morals, we should make a third one called values. Because values and morals are not quite the same, right? So you have values that, no, I'm sorry, I have to respect and not go in the bedroom. That's different than a moral in a sense, right? But could be. But yeah, the problem is you expect people to do what you would do. You're playing God. I'm perfect. Everyone should be the same as me. Well, we're not. Each one is totally different depending on their culture, what they're raised with, and so on. For example, wearing shoes in the house. You come to an Asian house, shoes are off outside sometimes.
Greeting you, kiss. Some people don't like that.
I know,
But
yeah. The French do, the Arabs do. Arab men will kiss on the mouth even sometimes. Yes, no?
Saudi, they do that.
Yeah. So, or in Iraq, Iraqis will do.
Yeah, we kiss like and we hug a lot.
That's it. But even with the shoes, a South African will never take their shoes off when they come in your house. But an Asian will. I don't know about Kenyans, but
No, I mean that would irritate me. That's why I was laughing.
okay. So these are values, you could say morals, but the thing is you cannot expect someone to do that. I had New Zealand friends came over to my house once, and I don't wear shoes in the house. I asked him to take off his shoes. He was insulted. He was very upset, and he refused.
Yeah, Kenyans,
Okay.
Kenyans,
You must take, okay. But you see, the point is,
British people are the same. Like, they feel like if they take their shoes off, their feet will smell in your house.
yeah,
So they feel like they're doing you a favor by not taking your
But
shoes
then
off.
you're bringing all the dirt and
They-
disgusting.
yeah.
yeah,
You're right. You're right. But it's
you see?
it's the way that you've been
Exactly.
right?
So he came in, and I let him wear his shoes. These are my values, but my moral, okay, my value is no shoes in the house. My moral is don't hurt other people. So he's not a girl wearing high heel shoes, and I have solid wood floors, that would have made marks. But he's a man shoes, and I don't know if they were even like running shoes or what, not going to damage. So I sweep the floor after. My moral is harm no one above all. My other moral is don't let people harm me. So I combine those two morals to say he's not harming me, and if I don't want to harm him, I will bend my values of not wearing shoes in the house because it causes me no harm, but to enforce it would cause him harm, and so please welcome. Okay? So we have to adapt. That's the cloud, changing shape at every moment. You cannot have, this is what you do in this situation. You've got to adapt at every moment. His wife took off her shoes. So we adapt. That's the point of, I'm saying, cloud versus mountain. Mountains don't adapt. Clouds do. That's why clouds live forever and can go anywhere. All right? That's okay? Is good? All right. So open and expressive versus scared to speak. You want to be free to speak and feel. You want a companion who's open and expressive. But if we're scared to speak because the repercussions of crossing a boundary, we all live in an emotional prison. So isn't that the world today? I can't tell, you want me to tell you what I feel, but if I do, I'm scared, what will you do? And a true story about my poor brother. He got married. He was religious, so it was a religious wedding, so they were both virgins. She was 21, 22, he was 27, 28, something like that. 28, 29. And they're both virgins. And he had lived in Israel at the time. So the party went on till 3, 4 in the morning, and then it's the wedding night. Okay. You have an imagination. All right. The next day, he said in the afternoon, they're talking, and she starts crying. And she doesn't stop for 2 hours until she calmed down enough for him to find out what happened. You yawned while I was talking. You are bored with me. You don't love me. He said from that moment on, saying anything was absolutely out of the question because look what a yawn can do. Right? This is how we manipulate. And then, how can you talk? How can you be free? When you have these boundaries, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you create fear. Now, I like Africa because you don't have as much political correctness. You can be a little more free and open with people. But in England, oh my God, you say one wrong word, you go to jail, right? Like US, any Western country. So all of these things have put humans in a prison. And we're exploding. Now, imagine if everyone is exploding because they want to speak, they want to express, but they're not allowed because of political correctness or appropriateness, everyone is stressed. And you are a cloud and you let people say anything they want to you and you just let them without any limitations, how good will they feel with you? They're gonna, oh my God, someone I can breathe around, I can relax around. Finally, a place, a human being I can talk to without fear of saying the wrong thing. And that's why in my companies, I never had anyone quit. I was getting birthday presents and Christmas presents as the boss. They never stole from me. I never had employee theft and great loyalty because they were allowed to tell me whatever they wanted. They could express. They felt safe. So you see, by being a cloud, you change everybody who you interact with by giving them one person, one place where they can be free. Because when they're attacking or ignoring you, it's out of fear, right? Not just a fear of you, for example, like she was saying, you know, in a conference, she raises her hand. Any questions? She goes like this, totally ignore her because she's a girl, right? So it's not just any of the typical things. But if I'm a man and I pick on you to say your question, I'm scared what the other men will say about me. So even though I want to open up and ask you as a woman, I can't because I'm scared of what everyone else will think or say about me. So we have to remember that it's not an insult to you. First, it could be, and he's an idiot. Or it could be he wants to, but he's scared of repercussions.
And he's still an idiot.
And he's still an idiot, exactly. Because he's scared of what they will say about him. Or lose his job or who knows what. But they are all idiots. And they're scared. So if you keep remembering that and you let people behave however they want, say what they want, without any repercussion coming from you, wow. Same with the kids. Kids are afraid. But if you let them say and do, express themselves without, no, you have to find the balance, right? And each moment, depending on what they say, you know, mommy, go fuck yourself. Oh, well, okay, no. There we give a smack. But depending on what it is, you have to find that moment by moment, right? So if you can be that, you change the world. Now, as I said, I don't like masses. I'm not teaching to the lower level of people. I want to teach the upper level because at the higher part of the pyramid, I teach 10, 10 teaches 100, teaches 1,000, all right? So the point is, you are all intelligent, capable people in business, doing things. You will affect everyone you work with, the employees, the customers, the coworkers, right? You have to realize that you're now being given a responsibility to make yourself into somebody that has a positive, comforting effect on everyone you interact with, which is why create something of beauty is make someone smile, make them laugh. You affect everyone else because you know what they say in Islam and I guess other religions. In Islam it says, until the puberty, you can commit any sin and there's no punishment, no penalty. Any sin you want, no problem. But once you reach puberty, you should know better. Now you get punished for your sins, okay? So you've just reached emotional puberty. Now you know the difference. Now you have to start watching, you know, because you'll start to see what you do. And you need to punish yourself so that your subconscious learns, okay? One of my course I made, it's called Anatomy of the Mind. Every emotion, I show it as an organ in the body of the mind. Like kidney, liver, heart, lung, spleen, we have guilt organ, love organ, hate organ, anger organ, all the organs. Okay. Every organ has a good use, but becomes cancerous and starts to be a bad effect. Okay? Guilt organ, obviously bad. You have lots of guilt, you put on guilt, bad. The other side of it, if you think the same thing is remorse and regret. But guilt brings with it self-pity. I'm a terrible person, I'm so bad, right? But remorse and regret, I did that, and I must be careful not to do it again. So you can now watch what you do when you get angry at someone, give someone shit, and you think, it wasn't very right. It's because I'm angry about something else. I vented there. I know everyone does it, but now that I realize it, I regret, and I have remorse for hurting their feelings. I regret what I did. I have remorse for hurting their feelings. I will now go and fix it. Okay? So with this awareness and the subsequent apology, your self-esteem rises very fast. That means confidence. Now, confidence and fear are the same coin. Insecurity versus confidence. The more you watch how bad you are today, you become better, but each one builds confidence and self-esteem, which automatically reduces insecurity and fear. And if I have the confidence, I'm not scared of someone crossing the boundary, and therefore I'm becoming more of a cloud. Okay? Make sense? All these steps? All right. Now, energy, everyone wants more energy. Oh. Okay. Swallowed the wrong way. All right. Oopsie. Breathe in the water, I guess. Okay. Everyone wants more energy. All right. So I eat very little. I sleep very little. I have a lot of energy. Still waiting to find a girl who has as much energy as me. And why? Because everyone has energy. People want to have more energy. How do I get more energy? You cannot. Every breath you take, oxygen in the lungs converts the oxygen into the red blood cells, circulates through your body, and that gives you energy. So yes, you can change how you breathe, you can exercise, and so on. But real energy is just wasted. Remember how I was saying earlier that the 4-year-old has so much energy? Because they don't waste it on thinking about what that person said, right? Okay, you're single, you're married, so you're going to get picked on. How many things did he do that you remember for years or months, right? A lot.
It stays.
And if you ask him, you remember what you did 17 years ago, huh? But you remember, that means 17 years you've had a hole in the bowl of energy.
Yeah, I've helped.
Leaking. But you put a hole in there, and so energy has been leaking. So everything that we remember, we retain, we resent is leaking energy. And that's why old people get old and don't have strength.
Are you saying everything that you hold on to creates a hole?
Any negative things, yeah. Every negative thought.
This practice of letting go is exactly the...
Yeah. But you can't let go until you understand the reality of what happened, which is they didn't want to hurt me, but they're in pain and they lashed out. I was the BMW that got hit and took away the guy's bumper, right? So it wasn't about me. I am irrelevant. They're in pain. I happened to be the one in front of them when they farted, and I had to smell it. But it wasn't meant to make me sick. It was just they couldn't hold it in anymore. And I was there when it came out. And when you accept the reality by seeing how you do the very same thing, you've proven it to your subconscious through your own observation, then you can let go of these things.
She's still coughing. I'm just wondering
Things-
if she...
Sure.
Water,
Yeah. I don't hear her coughing, but I guess she is if she stayed out.
I'm just going to
Oh.
use the...
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah.
I want to share something.
Mm. Ah, yeah, good. Okay. Yalla.
Yeah.
Yalla.
You're talking about the memory, right? And
Oops.
when you hold on to this memory and it hurts you, somebody hurts you.
Yeah.
So I was like in this relationship for 2 months, okay? And then suddenly he decided just to leave, okay? when he decided just to leave like that, I was like totally into understanding and acceptance. And I was like, okay, this is him, there's nothing to do with me, there's nothing wrong happened between us, it's something within him. And then after, I don't know what just happened, like everything, like because I started like experiencing the memories. For example, let's say I go to that mall and then I remember him.
Yep.
And then something start coming again, like a hate energy or something.
Yep.
And now I'm in this, I'm like, I thought I accepted it by that time, but actually there's still something triggering because whenever I remember him in this or that in this situation, there's still like...
Because you, self-hypnosis, you did these things of, I accept, I accept, I accept, and you never really accepted. You only try to convince yourself. That's the danger of mantras and affirmations.
No, I didn't
Okay?
do any
No. I'm just saying, concept, okay? No, but follow me, okay. So that's the danger of these things. You think you accepted, but what is the real reason these memories hurt you is because what is really driving a human being is the need of companionship.
Yes.
So it has nothing to do with him. It's that now I'm alone. I had someone who gave me the drug, which is the comfort of having a companion, and he's gone and I'm alone. So it has nothing to do with him at all. It has to do with I need companionship and I don't have it. And remembering
But
him,
if I have it with friends, I have the companionship.
it's not the same as a boyfriend, right? It's not the same as a hopeful life together, right? So the boyfriend, the relationship is a life together of companionship. And now I don't have that. So anything that reminds me about my need that is unfulfilled, it's the need of companionship that makes you feel pain because you don't have that. And then when you get distracted watching a movie or going shopping or for a hike, you're not thinking about it. So there's nothing reminding you about the need of companionship, so it doesn't hurt. But as soon as there's a reminder of, oh yeah, I had it and that was good, and now I don't. It's like you were addicted to a drug that you no longer get. So you overcame the drug, but as soon as you get a taste of it, you say, oh yeah, I want more. Right? So that makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay? So it has nothing to do with him. It is entirely what really is the hub of that wheel. He is the spoke, but the hub of the wheel is the need of companionship. And now the feeling of being alone, which you have successfully distracted yourself from, as we all do, with other activities, until it was brought back again. Someone twanged that spoke. Yeah. See? So we find the source. Everything comes down to need of companionship. When we see that it's never about anything outside, but it's about, I need to feel like a human being. I'm alive. I matter. And I don't matter if I'm totally alone. Did you want to say something?
No.
Oh, okay, just stretching. All right. Okay. So there, and then when you felt that, didn't your energy go down?
Yeah, definitely.
The holes, you see? Negative emotion drains energy.
I grew up and then when I remember
Yep.
taking a lot of energy from me.
Self-pity, negative emotions, avoidance of reality,
Yeah,
those are
and
all
I
the holes.
victimize maybe. I feel I'm abandoned. I feel abandoned.
Yep.
I feel I'm not enough.
Yep. All this is self-pity instead of just saying, I need companionship. That's the human being need. I accept it. Okay, what if you are out in the forest, you're hiking, long hike, and you have no food, and you're hungry? What do? Sit down and die? No. You keep walking until you get the food. You accept, I have no food, I have no water. I've got to keep going until I get it. So it's the same thing. Anytime we're feeling very lonely, rejected, isolated, all of this, I say, okay, I need companionship. I'm a human being. I need that hug. I need that feeling of being loved and cared for and desired. So I have to deal with the pain until I get it. Okay? So if you accept that reality, you don't punch a big hole. But when it's self-pity, is big holes, and energy goes down. When energy goes down, you don't have strength to, continue, right? But when we accept reality, this is life, people come and go. Why did they go? What am I doing to push them away? Did I make a lot of boundaries? Did I make it very difficult for certain things that a partner needs that they don't get? Or like my brother, that I'm scared to speak. A yawn made her cry for 2 hours. How much do we do that pushes people away or makes them uncomfortable to be with us, right? So if you want more energy, stop the self-pity, negative emotions, blaming others, all right? And we cannot just accept.
What if it's self-frustration?
Is it what?
Self-frustration.
Self-frustration.
Yeah.
Meaning?
For example, me personally, I struggle with the mornings because every morning I almost have like this silo of responsibility, and even speaking about it, it's just like it feels very heavy. It's like, okay, I've got to think about these like 4 kids, then the ex-wife, then my current life, and then the future, and then parents, and all these almost like silos of responsibility. Then, not to mention external of family, then you go into staff and their responsibilities and their families, etc., etc.
Overwhelming.
It becomes overwhelming. So
Yeah.
how does one essentially, where's the exercise, I guess, what I'm
Yep.
asking, to manage to remind ourselves, because that's all it is, I feel when I wake up, it's like I'm overwhelmed with that responsibility and a feeling of I have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel almost like if I had the tools that I could use to remind myself that I don't even know if I'm.
Yeah. Oh, you're clear, and I have your answer. I've already got your answer. Yeah.
If I can be very candid, the chain reaction from that is by the time
Sure.
he's done with his silos in his head in the morning, after that, when the interaction then comes to me, that he's already, his energy is already very drained. So
And it'll
our
drain you.
interaction is affected. Then what happens with me is I then take insult to the way he's speaking to me.
Yeah.
So it becomes, and instead of understanding the source of where it's coming from, that he's got his own things to deal with, I'm more focused on, no, but how this moment is not being spoken to in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And we lose track of
and then
like
my
what we
energy
started to
goes.
talk
Yeah.
about.
And then my energy goes because I'm going into that mode. So it's almost like a vicious circle.
Yep. That's okay. So we look at all the dominoes and the spokes of the wheel. Obviously, we don't have to talk about you because that's obvious. All right. So you have all these responsibilities. Okay. Human being needs to have terrible problems in their life that they have to take care of, so they feel important. Right. So the cause of your problem is that you need to feel important.
Right.
Okay. Walk in the cemetery, they're all dead. So you have to do a meditation, which is simply a visualization of you're dead. What happens?
Can you control anything? Nothing.
No, but what happens to all these people that you're worried
Oh,
about?
to the responsibilities.
Yeah,
They're still there. Yeah.
exactly. All right. So you need to work on establishing deeply you are irrelevant.
Right.
All right. So you need to keep doing this.
It's
Is
an ego thing,
it's
feel.
totally ego.
Yeah.
I need to feel important, so I want things to collapse around me.
So I can save it.
So I'm important. I'm a mountain. I matter.
Wow.
Okay?
So maybe that maybe is the block to everything.
Yes, sir.
Because
It
as
is.
soon as you remove that, then you've removed the ego, right?
Yeah. Well, it takes more than that for the whole ego, but it's a big part of it. It takes a big chunk out of that lower ego, the lesser nafs, if you know the
So
nafs.
you just mentioned the coping mechanism was, or not the coping mechanism.
To deal with it.
You said it's a meditation.
Okay, let's say a visualization, not a meditation. Meditation is focused on one thing. Just this time you have to take some time. and you sit quietly and you just see all your responsibilities, everybody, and then you're dead. Even go to the extent of it's my funeral, they're all there, and I'm dead. And then see them going off. What do? They have lunch, they have a party, then they continue their life. And go forward 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Where are they in 5 years, 10 years? Do they even remember you? Does anyone come to visit your grave? You know, you are irrelevant. Huh? Would you say? Shame?
No, I just said that. No, it's the thing about. You would think.
Yeah.
You would think that, like, you wake up in the morning, and the thing you're saying is, really hit, because you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh shit, that thing that I was on halfway done yesterday, well, it's gonna haunt me again today, right? And then it's going to build 3 other things.
Yeah.
And I can.
The knock-on effect.
You can hear
Yep.
your operations manager gonna call you, talk about a borehole that needs to get service or something like that. You're like, okay. Then there's your kids. Then there's everything.
That's right.
Starts.
And then there's this bit where we become really. We know we have this gut reaction immediately. And I don't know about you, but this happens. I'm like, oh fuck this.
Yeah.
You know what I want to do? I want to say screw all of this, and I want to be that kid. I want to just say I have no responsibility. I want to just be on the beach tomorrow. Tomorrow, what am I saying tomorrow? This afternoon.
This afternoon, yeah.
This afternoon.
Never mind
That's
tomorrow.
what I want to do.
Yeah.
But guess what?
We're going to the beach.
I'm a grown up.
Yeah.
I need to shoulder this thing because my dad did it and his dad before it. And you gotta be a man and you gotta do
Yeah.
that.
Be a man.
You know what that thing is? And we're just building this self-aggrandizing myth
Yep.
of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're carrying it.
Yep.
But the truth, like what he just said, and when I said shame, is that borehole, if you don't fix it today, it's gonna get fixed. Someone else
Yes.
will do it.
Yep.
And it will be you. You're not gonna be the one that's gonna save the day. You're not Superman. It'll get done. People will live fine without you.
Exactly.
Sad
And
and a shame, but
well, not
that's what's
only
sad.
for you, it's sad and a shame because you want to be important. That's why we need the cloud. Totally irrelevant. You know Mount Everest, you know Kilimanjaro, but you don't know the name of that cloud.
So your reaction is what you want. I.e., when you're commentating on how am I feeling when I'm dead, you almost projected your own feeling because you said, oh, shame, no one can.
Yeah.
But what he's saying is, don't feel like that.
Yeah.
Let it happen, no?
Exactly.
And another facet of the ego part, it just kind of like amplifying that, yes, because you're also thinking, okay, I'm dead, but then you're thinking, but they can't do this without me.
No, but that's what he's
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I'm kind of going back to that silo thing when you're thinking in your head, because you're also thinking from that other facet as well, that without me, what are the kids gonna do? No, I have, it's all, as you said, life will continue.
Yep.
Everybody will sort themselves out. You are not the savior.
Remember, I said everything I do is personal experience. I still kept one of my shops, a 1-hour photo shop, and I went away. I was gone for almost a year. And I come back, and I'm back in the shop, and customers, regulars come in. Hi, Dave, how are you? I've been gone for a year, and that's all you can say. You've been gone? I didn't know you were gone. Everything worked so well. I had no idea you were gone. I am irrelevant. You are irrelevant.
Okay, but when we go into this belief that, because before I used to think that, okay, I'm irrelevant, like you can belittle yourself, but
Yeah.
that could go against you.
You're right. That's why the exercises are to just, not just say it, but to prove it. Take off a month.
Prove what?
Prove that you don't matter that much.
No, but okay, how then you can attract the people who will make you feel worthy then? For example, I
Yeah.
attracted a man who made me feel, for example, unworthy.
Yes, but
So if I'm saying now I'm irrelevant, so I'm going.
yeah. No. I don't want you to
Really
say, okay.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
what
I'm not saying you say you're irrelevant, but we must realize that we are not as important as we think we are. Now, if you need a man to make you feel important, then you're a mountain. You need people to admire you. But if you are free, you don't need anyone because every day you create something of beauty. You are seeing and proving to yourself that you are of value in the world, and your self-esteem goes up, and you no longer need a man to make you feel worthy, which means you won't keep choosing the wrong men. You can choose a better one instead of anyone who will make you feel good for the time. Okay?
Okay, so you mean that, okay, so I attract a man to make me feel
Worthy.
something.
Yes.
But when I don't need when I'm not attracting anyone from outside, then I'm worthy. Like,
Well, when you
with or
feel worthy,
without.
yeah, when you feel comfortable with yourself, then you can choose a better man, not just any man. See, like women, young women make the big mistake. Why are there so many single mothers? Because I want a baby. I really want a baby. So he'll do, not considering he's an asshole or a drunk or a drug addict, but he'll give me a baby. Oh, I love him. He loves me because I want that baby so much. Right? In your case, you want to be loved and admired and feel important because you don't feel good enough about yourself. So you'll take any man that will give you that feeling, even though he's not a worthy man.
And you've bent your own morals to accept that.
Gold star for that student. Yeah.
You've bent your own morals to accept that from that partner that you've chosen.
Well done. Quick learner. Very good. Give him a cookie.
Don't give me a
That's it. You see? Morals, boundaries, the difference. You compromise because you don't have enough self-esteem, self-value. But in the exercises, you'll feel better about yourself. Therefore, you don't need to settle for filling that need without realizing what you're doing. Yeah. So we've got to realize you don't matter that much. Everything will continue. Take off a month and see what happens when you're back. There will be problems.
See, I get this, right?
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
Because in theory, I totally get it. What I'm almost envious of is that you're saying, I am a successful man. You evidently are, and I don't know you from Adam, but your history, take your word. You've somehow cracked the same problem, because it's not like it's only my problem.
Mm-hmm.
We all have them.
He's got it. Yeah.
Right? So somehow you've managed to have the same problems.
Mm-hmm.
I say
I did.
because we all have similar problems. But somehow you've managed to get over that, and you now also giving examples of this guy who didn't think of, he didn't see himself as rich, so that he himself was a blockage.
Mm-hmm.
You've released that, you've taught him to release that. I still can't see the practical application of it. So in the morning, you've identified it, I knew it before I walked into the door, so it's not like I didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, once again, and I say this to another coach of mine, the reason why I'm a good student is because what you're teaching me is not the first time I'm hearing it. It's repetitive. I'm a life learner. That's how I self-identify. So I'm gonna learn. But it's the practical implementation of applying it and then getting the result.
You've got to apply these exercises. If you don't know about modern medicine, okay, you're from the jungle, you don't know what pills are, and you're sick, I say, here, swallow this. Serious? Right? You don't think so, but it will heal you, correct? Okay, so that's what these exercises are. You've got to do them and then see. So I went away for almost a year. I came back and I realized, wow, I am irrelevant. They don't need me.
So to go back to the train of thought, if you were not in a state of financial freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're at year one of your business,
Mm-hmm.
you are
Yes,
You are
absolutely.
not irrelevant. You couldn't take that year off because you're not at that stage.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'd taken that year off at that point, 1 year in,
Mm-hmm.
you would have come back to no business.
Maybe,
Maybe you
yes.
did it in year 10,
Mm-hmm.
where you've established the business and you've got some whatever in place.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got the freedom to move away from that. Of course you're irrelevant, but that's
Yeah.
nothing to do with your own self-thinking. It's almost to do with the fact that you've put 10 years into a business, you've got the right stuff, and now you've given your manager equity, for example.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Now, here, but I'll tell you the answer.
You offered that as an example only, really.
Well, that's one example. Now, I'll give you more. My charity in Montreal was family-owned companies going bankrupt. They couldn't afford help. So I would go in to restructure, give them the advice. Everyone was the same thing. An immigrant came, started with his 2 hands, built a company, it grew, and then it started collapsing because he still wanted to control it all with his 2 hands. Okay. So what a man does, he builds a company because he wants to be impressive. I'm a man, I built this business, I run this business, I am important. I, on the other hand, because of my desires, wanted to build a business that would make me money, but had nothing to do with me. So I built and designed all of my companies. I owned 8 companies at the same time when I retired, and I sold them all. How did a kid manage 8 companies? Because every one I built and designed to make me irrelevant. The entire plan of how to run that business was me creating it and getting in the people so I am totally redundant. But a normal man builds everything to have control, job security, to be impressive so people will love me. So have you built your business and your whole life so that people need you, so you feel important? Okay, and that's where the problem is.
So it comes down to the architecture.
Yes. Now, if you change the design going forward to make everything run on its own, and like I did that, I only needed about 3 months in a business.
Right.
Give me 3 months, people are there, systems established, they don't need me anymore. And that's how I built 8 companies by the time I was 25. I had the time because I built it, few months, 6 months, on its own. Next.
So once again, the theory, I understand.
Yeah.
Where
Change direction. Make yourself redundant. Make up systems to change every one of these silos so that they don't need you.
I almost feel like in the business sense, it's almost like design the business model and remove yourself as the CEO
Yep.
and the cost basis.
Put yourself in
Yeah.
that
You're
Yeah.
the
In front of
investor
you,
now,
exactly.
and you're not working in the
You're a
business.
silent partner
Yeah,
to
you're
a degree.
silent partner.
Or, like, let's say the board of directors, how actually involved are they in a company? Very little. So
Or
you, shareholders, yeah,
Shareholders are
But
not.
that's
Yeah.
exactly.
beneficial owners. They just receive.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just receiving.
So you
But
have to think like a shareholder. Really.
shareholder or director, I just see what's going on today. Okay, do this for the next month. I'll be back next month. Yeah. It's all a matter of your ego. You know, a human needs companionship. To have companionship, I have to be important so people will love me. So you have to know that what you're looking for is companionship and you're going after it the wrong way. But I don't need it anymore. I don't need companionship. Last night, it's Friday night, the weekend, you should be out with friends and this. I sat on the roof, we have a nice roof terrace. I sat with my computer, I watched a movie all by myself, so happy. I don't need anything. That's the cloud. I can have it. I would love a girlfriend, someone to share my life with, wonderful. But if I don't have it, it's okay too. Okay? That's the goal. If I have it, I keep it, it's nice. If I don't have it, I'm happy too. Okay? But you can't do it by just thinking it. You've got to do things in your life, physical action, take action, make things happen to prove it to your subconscious. All right? So you need to now change everything. Make a list. I'm responsible for this, for this, for this, for this. Okay, one by one or all at the same time, how can I no longer be needed? Because next year I'm dead. Right? It's a strange thing for people to comprehend, but I always look over the balcony or from the roof and think of jumping. Now, not that I want to kill myself, but I keep remembering how at any moment I could go. Am I free to go? And if I feel, no, I have to take care of this. Okay, now I will take care of this. And now I can, huh?
But you've got work to do.
What do you mean? What work to do? What do you mean?
If you recognize that there's a dependency on you, then there's work to do.
Right, to get rid of that dependency. Exactly. Yeah, so why can't, oh yeah, this person, what will happen to, okay, fix something so that I'm free. So everything you think needs you, you're so important, aside from a little baby, which in fact, you're not that important. Someone else will take care of the baby. You have a will. You know, you've got your testament, last will, testament, whatever you call it here. Everything is arranged. I can jump right now and nothing in the world will change. Now I have freedom to live a good life.
It's funny how that is inspired from the thought of death.
Yeah.
But
When
death
you
is,
know, yeah. Death is
Sorry.
ultimate.
Yeah.
it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Death is inevitable.
Well, no, death, I say death is the ultimate redeemer. No more taxes, no more bills to pay, nothing to worry about. Death frees you of all your troubles. So if death will not free me because I have something I'm worried about, I attend to that, so now I am free to jump. And like there's a Buddhist story, one enlightened man, they said, you know, you're free. You're no longer needing to be a human on earth. Why don't you just, you know, die and go? He said, well, if the fruit on the tree is still green, why should I pick it? Let it ripen and fall by itself. So yeah, I can jump. I have no issue with killing myself today, but why should I? It's not time, right? But the thought of it, that's why. You imagine yourself dead. Where is everybody? And then you know, that's your visualization. But in reality, what do I have that I have to take care of? Let me take care of it. And then I can be free, right? So it could take years. So in other words, I've got to put my son through college. For example, I don't know, you have a son or your daughter, whatever it is. Got to put my kid through school. I must stay alive to make the money to put them through school.
That's one of my silos. That's
Okay.
literally one of my silos.
All right, so how much will it cost?
I know 2026, I'm spending $240,000 on school.
Great. You now have to work really hard to get that money, put it in an account, and that worry is done.
And that's another one of my silos that I wake up with because I know that.
Yeah.
So from 2024 to 2026, I'm on a race.
Okay.
And that's what I wake up with.
Good.
When I wake up with that, by the time I finish that half an hour and I start like conversing with Maria,
Yeah.
I'm so pressured with the next 2 years in my head and it's only been half an hour in a way.
Okay. Now, first thing is, what happens after you have that money? How will you feel?
Well, I thought about that.
Okay.
It's literally just that freedom of it's okay.
Great. Okay.
It's
Next,
dealt with.
next question. What if you don't have that money?
Everything goes on. But
Exactly.
I didn't achieve my own level of
Right. Your own goal,
self-worth,
your target.
I guess,
Right.
yeah,
Who set that?
myself.
Right.
But
Is it
deep down, it was my father.
okay? And not just your father. Where did he get it? The world, society. Good father does this. Okay. How many people never go to college and still do really well in life?
Absolutely. But mine
Right.
has nothing to do with college.
Or whatever the things you feel are obliged, right? So we have to see the thoughts. This is where the All is Mind course is much more useful. Is that every fear, thought, worry, where did it come from? So you can think that, all right? What if I died today? What would happen? Nothing, okay? So now, why do you worry? Because you worry, meaning it's a habit, right? Now, how do you change a habit? By doing the opposite, okay? So you now have to start this visualization in the morning. Every morning, you wake up, okay, I'm dead. Today I didn't wake up.
The funny thing is, this I call it a phenomena, has only happened since I got divorced.
Yeah.
Because now this silo thing is a feeling of guilt. I
Mm-hmm.
And am I still being a good father?
Yeah.
Like that's almost like, so as a responsible father, have I checked off, you know, the education, the health, the wealth, you know, whatever it is that my responsibility as a father.
And those are all put onto you. Because when we were cavemen, we didn't worry about college. So everything has been put onto you. You want to be an important mountain. You want to be respected. You want to be honored. And so therefore, you must do these things. But with the exercises, you don't care if you're honored. You don't care if they respect you. You do your best, but you are limited. And that if you, like, imagine now, you work to put your kid through college, and you have a heart attack and die because you worked so hard the day your kid gets their money to go to college. How's your kid going to feel? Pretty shitty, right? Dad died. Now, oh my God, I have to go to college. I must get good grades. And you just perpetuated misery for another generation, right? So we need to see all these things, but remember that all of this is things put on you because you want to be respected and loved, and that it's all imagination and illusion, and you need to become more free. And it's just the habit of thinking. So you have to start with changing habits. Any habits change, you change other habits.
So, you know how, sorry to interrupt you, Jerry, you know how, but, okay, your example just made me think of just similar, not similar situation, but just, you know how you might be having a project and you really work hard on it and there's so much adrenaline rush and you put in so much effort and you've got to the finish line, and when you get to the finish line, you're like, oh, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
And then what happens? You go find another one.
Yeah.
Because you want
You
to
need
feel
more
the
adrenaline.
Same rush.
Yeah.
And then because if you don't have that rush, then you feel like there's no meaning. Why am I
Bored to
here?
death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
What's
Yep.
my importance? And then
Yeah.
it's always another one and another one.
Yeah.
But then
Well,
I just feel like to
So-
push back,
You know?
what do you do then? Like as
Okay.
a father or as
How do you stop
a
being-
husband or a partner
Mhm.
or whatever,
Yep.
as a responsible human,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm the cloud, right? For
Yeah.
example, I say, okay, I'm responsible for my own way I show up.
Mm-hmm.
I know how I have these responsibilities. I'm going to do my best.
Yep.
Now, two of my children, I have four. Two of my children are really highly driven. Two of them not, for example.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm the cloud, and I go, okay, all four, they're all the same
Mm-hmm.
in terms of love. I'm the cloud, and let them do what they want. Now, two go and become X, Y, Z, and because it's self-propelled. And two, I'm still the cloud, just end up doing nothing.
Okay, but remember, the cloud means you don't get hurt by other things. It doesn't mean you ignore people, like you said with the hippies. That's not the cloud. The cloud
Right.
still has its responsibilities. It's just that no one can hurt the cloud. But
By not doing the things that...
for whatever reason, you can't be manipulated. It doesn't mean you give up your responsibilities. Okay. But now, what is your responsibility as a father is to raise a confident, strong, healthy child, correct? Raise a good child.
Sure.
Okay. Who says that giving them a college education for free, basically, is being a good father?
No.
Right. My father was shit. Didn't give me food. Didn't give me anything. Never said happy birthday. Best father I could have had. It's the best. Because I went to work, I made my business, I made an amazing life. I retired at 28. Because my father was a shit to me. So in your idea of what you need to do, is that the best thing? My late partner, she had nothing. She worked sewing little things for 25 cents a piece to put her siblings through school overseas. They're from Malaysia. And then she put herself through accounting school and built a very good life for herself, all by herself. And she was the strongest, most confident, amazing woman. So is it really good to be giving? That's your opinion based on what you've been fed. So isn't it better to raise your child to become more self-sufficient? The point is, what you are worrying about fulfilling, is that actually worth worrying about? Is it the right thing? It's fixed opinions, turns your mind to stone. And now you're stuck with these rigid beliefs which are killing you and your current marriage. Is it worth it? Because you have the opinion that this is the right thing to do. So you see where the problem is you've got an opinion that's fixed as to the right thing to do. Whereas that could actually be the worst thing you're doing for them. So you've got to realize your opinions.
From your dad to you, he thought that you should be a certain way, but you then broke that, and then that I think that's like a similar kind of example as well.
Yeah, in fact, when you
He had
were
a fixed
speaking, I went,
notion for you, right?
yeah, and it was when my dad let go that I actually thrived.
Yeah. So what are you doing? Like your dad?
Yeah, I am. I'm
Oh,
just.
so you're the black sheep of the family. You didn't
Yeah.
do what you.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself.
Yeah.
You
Doing
know,
the same
freaked out.
thing. Yeah.
let me,
I
yeah.
turned into exactly that thing that I wanted to.
Exactly. Let me teach you,
Hit the nail on the head.
let me teach you how to hug. A hug is 2 arms around the body. The way you hug is 2 hands around the throat. I love you, darling.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's exactly that.
Yep. So,
I can love people to death. I've said that before.
yeah. So then is that love, or is that you need to be loved
Guys,
back?
I'm fine, don't worry.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about her.
No, otherwise.
1.3 yes, 2 blinks for no.
This is being recorded, so, you've got a record. Yeah. And all of it is, I mean, if you don't mind me being a little bit of a swami here, you not feeling loved by your father, so now you need to be loved by your children, and you're doing what you've been told will make you more lovable and respectable so that they will love you, although all of it is opinions, illusions, and it's all coming from you need to feel loved, and hence control the business, control this, control that, because I just want to be loved. Admire me, I'm a big mountain of gold, right? But when you say, you know what, I'm a good man, but good has a lot of different definitions. How am I good? I don't hurt anyone. I don't steal. I don't cheat. I don't kill. I don't harm. That's a good man. And I do what I can, whatever it is I'm capable of. I'm a good man. Now I feel comfortable with me. Okay, I don't need to kill myself or kill them so they will love me so I feel like a good man. And everybody can be more relaxed.
Yeah, and I think that also kind of feeds into the expectation that he feels like the children have to speak to him
Yeah.
at a certain extent, or like if they don't speak, like say, on a particular day, but it's like, no, why didn't they call me? Why didn't
Yeah.
they speak to me? So I think it feeds into the expectation as well.
I think that's just jealousy, to be honest, because they call their mum, they don't call me.
Exactly.
When
And now, and you can say, I paid for your education. I suffered like this. You wouldn't believe what I suffered for you. You owe me. Yeah, you owe me. Oh,
In my case, my mother does that every single time. Every
Yep.
time I have a conversation.
of course.
It's a
Let's
very
start.
ethnic
Let's
thing.
start a club. Let's start a club.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
very ethnic thing.
all of you humans do it.
Yeah, I don't have to have that as an American.
You get it too.
When-
Arab, Indian, Muslim, African.
When I lost my job, my first job, I left after 3 months or 4 months being in the job. I came home and told my dad that I quit my job. The first thing that he says is, we gave up our whole lives
Yeah.
to live in England. We left Africa for your education. You finally get the job of, he
Yeah.
said your dreams, but he meant my dreams.
Yeah,
You
his
got the
dream.
job of my dreams,
Yeah,
and now you quit.
Yep. Okay, we need to keep moving because I think this can go forever, right? Okay, let's keep moving because it'll all make more sense as we get through this. Okay. Now, you are 3 separate beings. You're not one human being. You're 3 beings. The first is the horse. That's your body. The second is the driver. That's your ego personality. The third is the master who's in the carriage. That's your soul. Whatever you want to call soul, right? Conscience, whatever. The problem is the master is stuck in the carriage. So the driver is now asleep. And then the horse goes where he wants. So he wants to go for grass here, take a nap there. He does what he wants because the driver isn't controlling him because he's asleep. And then the master never gets to his destination, meaning your destiny, whatever you want to call it. Okay, that's a human being. Now, do we prove that, the driver being your ego personality, when you go from house to office, do you remember what you saw? How many things do you do and say, ooh, how did I get here? You are sleeping. The whole time, your whole life, you are asleep, a waking sleep. And the horse gets you to the destination, okay? The horse is your body. Yeah. The engine that moves you.
So the body knows before the mind?
Well, the body can do its things automatically, right? Like a horse knows it's not going to walk off a cliff, right? So it just moves, it functions. But the ego can go to sleep, set autopilot. Get a Tesla. Autopilot. Go. All right? But the soul can't speak. So our goal is to wake up the driver so it controls the horse to go to where the master wants to go. And that's basically saying, wake up your consciousness so you're aware of what you're doing and you get to the destination, okay, in our life. So that's just a little analogy to see how there's 3 parts to us. We're 3 separate beings. Now, I say I'm an alien. We're all aliens. Okay? What is an alien? Someone from outside. Okay? So your body, that's the shell, the egg in the shell. One day you realize there's something wrong here. I've got to change, but I have no idea what it is. So you come to my workshop, you do other workshops, whatever it is. Looking, you go to religion or to meditation or whatever. And you get away from the shell, the outer concept. I know I'm more than this body. And then I realize I am, ego personality. Okay, I see that. But what you really are is the yoke inside. That's the master in the carriage. But that yoke is stuck in the egg. It can't get out. But this yoke, that's what you really are. Because who's thinking? Is it your brain that thinks? Your brain is no. Something more is thinking, and we can prove that. Everyone has the same heart. Hearts function, no matter who you are. Liver, kidney, lungs, they all function the same. And so does the brain. It's just another organ. Now, if I am my brain, then everyone would be the same. Same opinions, same fears, same ideas, because that's a function of the brain. And everyone's brain mechanically is the same. So therefore, you are something other than anything in your body. That's who's thinking. And therefore, it's alien to the body. So you're not human. Who is sitting here thinking isn't human, because that part of you is alien to the human. Because there's no me in here.
So what you're saying, without the analogy, is that your soul is what's driving you, right?
You are, yes, it's what's driving you, yes. But what is it? We don't know because it's trapped inside the egg. Yeah, but what is it? You've got names, words, but what do those words really mean? What is it? And you will never find it until you realize that I am actually not human. I'm in the human body, but when I think about it, I am more than human. So when the body dies, what happens to me? It continues. Maybe, maybe not, whatever. But I am not actually this human being. And I am trapped inside this human being who has been formed with your opinions and beliefs to live this life, and I'm the master in the carriage with a sleeping driver being taken wherever the horse wants to go. In your case, taken to thinking that a good father has to do this and that. A good mother should do this and that. A good whatever should do this and that. All these opinions, boundaries, all of these things. So the more you think about, I'm actually an alien to this body, and therefore I cannot be harmed, right? Because if you're really this soul, which is non-material, no one can hurt you. Remember, I can take your money, your property, your body, your legs, but I can't take your mind. And that mind is this alien thing. So it's just concepts for you to think about. The more you think about it, it slowly makes you realize that I don't have to worry about the things I worry about. All right? So, you know Alexander the Great? When he died, he said, and he knew he was dying because he was poisoned. He said, when I die, you leave my hands out to show here is Alexander the Great, born with nothing, died with nothing. That's why, again, the cemetery. Get it into your head through enough physical action, which is walking in cemeteries. You're nothing. But then what am I? Now is where, when you say, I'm nothing, destroys your self-confidence. But what am I? I am the alien inside. But everything human about me is irrelevant.
It's just a vessel.
It's the horse and carriage. But I am the master.
I've just had a really, like, a light bulb moment. Even when you go to the cemetery of someone that you loved, that was alive, you never go for their body.
Yeah.
You go for the memory and the soul that you remember.
Mm-hmm. And that's all that you really are right now.
The body is even called the remains.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Good point. Very good point. Yeah. Just the remains.
Okay, this is weird. Why are my feelings, like why am I feeling sad when I think that, we are reduced to the soul and it doesn't matter and we're all going to die? Why does it feel like, I want to think like that, but then I feel it's sad.
Because your
And
human
there's also
ego.
that resistance of like, I don't want to accept that.
Because you still believe,
But everything
yeah,
doesn't revolve around
you still believe you're human, and the human wants companionship. If I'm an alien, who's going to love me if I'm just floating in the air? There's still, remember, there's the three. You are three different beings. You're a body, you're an ego, and you're a soul. So you still have the desires of each one of those beings. And there's the ego that wants to be loved. But if I am an alien and my body doesn't matter, who's going to love me? But you still have the desire to be loved.
Those three parts of your body, you,
Yeah.
they all operate independently as well. So
Yes.
not only do they operate together, but they also have different, like the horse wants to go that direction, the carriage wants to, the master wants to go that direction, and the driver wants to go that direction.
Yep, exactly. Huh?
Yeah, but it's just strange. I'm just saying it I'm just observing. Like it's very strange. I mean, they all go in different directions. They all have conflicting
Desires,
needs
yeah.
and desires. Your body or what the horse, whichever one wants to be the top of its game. The other one wants peace and stop worrying and over obsessing.
Mhm.
with
But I
them.
think
And
what
then
he's
the other
saying is
one
that if you can
is
control it using the master, then
Yeah.
everything gets in alignment.
Yes.
At the moment, without the control, you are going in three different directions. But if you can master this, then you effectively get everything in alignment, and then it's the master driving the horse, telling the driver where to go, who instructs the horse where
Perfect.
to go.
I'm
If
sure
I-
Very good.
She wrote the sticker book, right? The star, the gold star.
He's
sticker
really
book.
good.
Yeah, she just wrote
Yeah, exactly. That's what we have to do, because as you're pulled in three directions, more holes draining the energy. Yeah, but we have to know that we are these three different parts. I want to eat ice cream for dinner, but I know I shouldn't. So the body wants ice cream for dinner, but the ego says, no, I don't want to gain weight. So you're in a conflict, right? I want to dress comfortably, but I have to dress in uncomfortable clothes so I make a good impression and look good. So the body says, I want to be comfy. I'd rather be naked, and so on. Yeah, you said that at the same time. Yes, I just want to be naked, but I have to do this.
So how does that alignment look like?
Sorry?
Well, then you have no inner conflict. You have no inner conflict, or you do what you have to do without resistance.
Yeah, and you're aware of it. You know that that's just you being compliant, right?
Yep.
You're just going with, because like school uniform is a prime example in that example.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to wear school uniform. Like the soul is not saying I want to wear uniform, but you're just being compliant, right? So you accept that you have to wear the uniform,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's just accepting.
Yeah, and you will be able to accept it when you know that you're the cloud, not the mountain. Because a mountain resists. A cloud adapts without issue. All right, so we'll move on now. This one, this is real time. Okay, how many years to build it? And in real time, how long to destroy? Okay, so you spend your whole life building your fortune, and then they come up with some reason to shut you down, and you lose it all quickly. Huh?
Where did this happen?
Anywhere they want to take down a building.
Yeah.
They,
Demolition.
it's just demolishing a building. That's normal. Because then they build a bigger one like they did in Twin Towers in New York. They demolished them so they could build a new one. This is what it is. So it's real time. We destroy quickly, but years and years and years to build. So that's why this work is so important. Because if you want to have a fortune when you die, you have to make sure you don't keep losing it as you're alive. And that's a relationship, and that's marriage number 2, whatever it is. Okay? Now, this is a lot of text. The question is not that you deserve anything. That's just an affirmation. When you say, I deserve this, I deserve that. That's these affirmations, self-hypnosis. Rather, you should ask yourself, why don't I deserve this? Okay, that's the exercise. Whenever you feel that I don't deserve something, anytime I'm not good enough, I'm not a good enough father, I am not worthy of this, I'm not, why are they picking on me? Why don't I deserve it? Instead of trying to say, I deserve it, why don't they treat me better? I deserve respect, I deserve admiration, this affirmation. No, this is bullshit. It's self-hypnosis. Your subconscious doesn't buy it. You have to say, well, why don't I deserve it? Am I a bad person? And this is where the concept of morals and ethics comes in. How do I live? I steal a lot. A friend of mine, he's a money manager for billionaires. He said every one of his clients, they're hundreds of million, billion, they're all depressed. They're all miserable. He said because they all know who and how many people they screwed to get their money. You see? I'm not that rich, but I'm very happy with what I have. I know how I earned it, right? So if you feel any level of self-doubt, and even if you don't realize you have that feeling, but you do, that's why you're trying so hard to build your silos. So, well, why don't I deserve them to love me? So now you can say, my kids don't love me. Okay, why? I beat them a lot, I don't feed them, I don't do this, I don't do that. Okay, you know, change. All right, but I doubt any of you are like that. So you say, why don't they love me? Why don't they call me? Now I go back to every human being has the right to be who they are. This is a sort of boundary. You must love me because I'm your father. But instead, you know, Confucius said, do not demand respect. Rather, strive to be worthy of respect. Okay? But what does it mean? You have to think, what is a good human being? Which is not, a good human being is not a bad human being. So it doesn't mean I have to pay for their college, but it means I don't steal their money. I don't steal from them. I don't take from them. I don't beat them for no reason. I don't say, you bloody moron, how could you be so stupid? Okay? So that's the most important key to the self-esteem, is a thinking. Why don't I deserve? What is wrong with me? Where am I a bad person? Why don't they look at me? Why do they treat me so badly? What did I do to deserve that? Objectively, really look at yourself and then fix what needs to be fixed, or eventually you'll say, you know what, there's no reason. And this is again becoming a cloud, right? Because then there's no reason for them to treat me this way. So I'm not bad. I allow people to be what they are because I don't have boundaries. So if they don't respect me or like me or treat me well, that's their problem. And I have no right, even if it is my own daughter, to tell her what to think. Like my father said, you will respect me because I am the father. And I said, no, sir, no way. I'll respect you if you deserve respect. Okay? So that's the idea. So I'm not a bad person. They have freedom, free will to do what they want. They get influenced by outside forces. So all I can do is show them I am a person who does not get influenced. I am a cloud. I allow everything, but I don't control anything. And by not controlling, you actually do control. Okay? So that's a very good exercise. Now, here's one very good called the foundation principle. I made this up. And I made this up because it's a real story. Your mind sets a foundation principle about everything. And this was because I had 2 cups of coffee in the sink. And a friend was coming over, and I thought, she's going to see that, and she's going to, who was here? Because the foundation principle about men is that we cheat. She's nodding her head. I like that. Yes, we cheat. We're dishonest, right? So she's going to see 2 cups, and she's immediately going to say, who was here? She's not going to think that a cleaner comes in every 2 days. So I can take the advantage of having 6 cups and not have to wash them, because the cleaner will come and wash them. So it's my 2 cups over 2 days, you see? But what happens is everything is wonderful. You're wonderful. Life is wonderful. But the foundation principle about men is they cheat, about this is whatever it is. As soon as there's something that relates to your foundation principle about something, all the good disappears and you immediately go to thinking that way. You follow what I mean? We're triggered by something and it'll totally change everything. And that's when the building gets destroyed.